Hello. Can you use an old dirt jumper as a mountain bike? Yeah. Hello, I'm back with another video. Today's sponsor is it's the queer community. All of them for this video. So much love. Right. So what we have here is my original 2008 Giant STP2. It's my first real mountain bike. Never let it go. Just showing you, it's a bit of a mixed bag. As you can see, it's got really old grips on it, but I have replaced the front tire, the rear disc, and put on a new chain. That's it. Otherwise, we're just gonna make sure nothing's loose. Perfect. Now let's just do a quick pre-flight. Check the tires are on, lube the chain, and we're away. So to warm up, we've got a little shared walking and cycling track just near the house. Warm into the day. Yeah, fuck that. Anyway, let's load up and go bush. Okay, so let's talk mountain biking on an old dirt jumper. Again, I'm about 6 foot. The bike's a size medium on 26-inch wheels. 1 gear, 1 brake. Nothing else. No dropper. Anyway, this thing... What? Oh, big fucking trick. Anyway, let's talk about the bike. How does it go descending? What it doesn't have working for it is short, small wheels. It is a little bit twitchy. It's hard to get your weight in certain places. However, what it does have still is geometry. Compared to a non-mountain bike, this thing is still really capable. It's shorter in the stem, so your weight's not as far forward. It is a slacker head angle. I mean, it's not slack by today's standards, but slacker than a non-mountain bike mountain bike. I went riding with someone who was on a non-mountain bike, and I was on this. Despite 1 gear, 1 brake, they preferred this. They felt more confident on this. Right, so this shot here just shows you the trail that we're on and what I'm reviewing this bike on. The trail's green, there's kids on it. This is the beginner that's following him. These trails aren't extreme trails. It's not an extreme bike. This is just to show you what I'm stacking this bike up against. It's like this is mountain biking. This is the kind of mountain biking trail that this is being reviewed on. So, this little clip with the beginner and then myself following them, I wanted to show you this for 2 reasons. One, to show you that being on a bike's alright. It's a lot of fun and you can go a lot of places with it. The second part is I wanted to show you how sick I am.
All good.
Yep.
Yep. Thank you. Filming, trying.
No, I'm just kidding, probably. So if you're checking out these little steps that we're going down, there's 3 things that are keeping me sort of stable. One is the components, so shorter stem, the way the bike's designed. Weight's not on the front wheel, making it all wiggly. The geometry is still quite good, much better than a non-mountain bike mountain bike. Then the thing that's bringing it back is the wheelbase. It is still really short, so it's still sensitive to weight distribution. When you've got a lot of weight, it's more sensitive again. Okay, let's talk about the flats. Riding on the flats. Flat, smooth, good. Anything rough, no. So these little wheels, what I've noticed is that they spin up really quick. They're light, you just put in a few pedal strokes and boom, you're off. Really start moving really quick. However, what I do notice, because they're small, this has been said before, but bumps slow them down. You start hitting some bumps and it just takes all your speed. It sucks up all your energy. And that just shows some of the small bumps. These little bumps took out heaps of speed, washed off heaps of speed. Otherwise, it's a small bike. Got my seat up, not in the ideal position, but it's all right. Single speed, sort of motor along, a tractor through it. You're just getting through it. There's nothing impressive about the flow. Right, now 3 things about this bike and its climbing that I've noticed. One, first out of the way, single speed. Parts of the single speed, I can only get to a certain sort of gradient before I'm out of the saddle, mashing on the pedals. The problem with that is getting too much torque into the drivetrain, and now this bike isn't well maintained. So that's where we're hearing this crack, things aren't lined up, things aren't right, old chainring, blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to keep a good cadence, which is the revolutions of your feet. How fast are you cranking? When you're cranking slower, more torque, more prone to slippage and accidents that are associated with that. So trying to keep a good cadence, pedaling faster, so going faster, reduces that risk. So always trying to keep on top of that. Also better power as you're going up the hill. Next one, huge one, is weight distribution. I'm finding it's as important on the uphill as the downhill. If I'm hitting any little bumps and that shifts my weight forward, my upper body's really pushing hard to keep me upright, especially because I look like a lollipop on this tiny fucking bike with my big tummy. But that short wheelbase, I've noticed, I've actually crashed 3 times on the same corner, trying to mash into this corner, keep my speed up and crank through the corner. And I've not got my weight distribution right, gone too far forward and washed out. Same goddamn corner. Lastly, of course, as the small wheels, all the bumps are amplified. So there's no sitting down and tractoring over bumps. So you're moving your weight up and down, trying to unweight the rear wheel as you're going over and unweight the front wheel to get over the bumps as well. Because this bike is a single speed and you're really pushing hard to keep on top of the cadence, I've actually found, when I've done my Strava, that I'm faster in some of the uphill sections on this trail with this bike compared to my San Quentin, which is 11 speed, drop a post, blah, 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 because I'm just pushing hard. So for exercise, this thing's a fucking beast. And we're back out on the little walking shared track. It's lovely. We're going to talk about takeaways now because what do you think? Undulating track, flat, tyres, wheels, bike. This bike and those like it, we're going to talk about it in 2 ways. 1, current setup. 2, how it used to be set up or the potential for it to be a mountain bike again. So running this thing, single speed, 1 brake. Single speed means you can only go up sort of certain gradients before it's getting too steep and you have to push. Going downhill, it gets too steep, too fast, too chunky, and then you need a second brake. So in its current form, it's limited. Here at Awaba, it can do the whole green section, and it is awesome. It's fun, it's a bit loose, it's great fun. The rest of the park's off limits, and then gravel biking or doing these other experimental stuff that I've had to try out on my San Quentin, all of that's excluded because this bike's just not up to it. It can't go up and it can't go down because it's just not quite right. How does it compare to something like a modern bike, like let's say the San Quentin? Obviously we're talking dropper post, bigger wheels, gears, 1 bike, blah, blah, blah. However, a big thing that I've noticed is weight distribution and the length. So this bike, because it's so short, you move forward a little bit, you've just put 15% of your body weight forward because you move forward a centimetre. So it's 1, more capable because you can go over steeper stuff and the bike's not going to tip over. But 2, all of this normal stuff, you're closer to the limit, even on easier stuff with this little dirt jumper, which makes it very fun on stuff like these green trails. However, it does mean it's more loose and then it runs out of capabilities much faster than a modern bike. Set this up like I had it in the past, brakes on it, put the gears back on it, it would be awesome. I think you could do the whole Blue Trail section. You could do the exploring, it could be your only bike. It's not as good as a modern bike, it never will be, but if you're on a budget or doing it for a bit of fun, and I would replace this, I would rebuild this if I could, if it was worth it for the money, but the cranks are just seized on, they're never coming off. So it's just going to get ridden like this till it dies and then hung up in the shed. Old dirt jumper compared to a non-mountain bike, old dirt jumper every day. I think the geometry is just noticeably different. It is so much better, much more capable. Plus you can still kind of buy parts for it and replace it and upgrade. You can still do stuff to this bike. But to have this rather than the San Quentin, fuck no, absolutely not. Problem is it's got so much more capabilities, which means you can just take it places you've never been and try new things, and you know that it'll carry you through. Do I think they're fun? Absolutely. So, are old dirt jumpers mountain bikes? Yes. Can you use them as mountain bikes? Yes. Bye.